He dared me to. I had to do it. I never backed down from a dare. I went to the very edge of the cliff, trying to be careful not to fall over. I looked down at the pool of roaring fire below me. Safest? I asked my boyfriend, Jake. His green eyes pierced into mine. Jake started walking towards me. What are you doing? There is not enough room for both of us on the edge. One of us will fall? I told him. I know. Exactly my point? Jake said, now right behind me. He ran his hands through his rusty red hair. What is exactly your point? I asked. He pushed me off. I screamed, falling closer to the pool of fire. I looked at his face one more time. He had a smug grin on his face. My dark green dress twirled. This was it. I was going to die. Why did Jake do this? I thought I could trust him. I loved him, but now all I felt was hate for him. Splash. I landed into the pool of fire. Soon I felt this unbearable heat. I was not dead. My body was not turning into ashes. I was unbearably hot, but other than that I was completely fine. I was shocked. My arms and legs started flailing. I heard a big splash behind me. It was Jake. He had jumped. His body started burning right away. His skin turned red. I screamed in terror. I went over to him and somehow found the strength to lift him up above the pool of fire. My legs kicked harder, keeping my head from going under. All the muscles in my body burned. I pushed myself to keep going. This would not be the end for me. Not for Jake either. I had no idea what went through his head and what he was thinking. Maybe he had a rational reason for everything. I could only hope. There was a shore less than half a mile away. I swam towards it. I threw Jake onto the shore. I pulled myself up. I collapsed onto the cold obsidian ground. I turned my head to Jake's body beside me. His skin was burned really badly. He needed to go to a hospital. He was unconscious. There was nothing I could do. I closed my eyes in exhaustion and I fell asleep. My purple eyes snapped open. How long have I been asleep? My body had completely recovered. I was back to normal now. I got up and noticed Jake's still unconscious body laying there. I sat down next to him and stroked his red hair. It was surprisingly cold. I felt the pulse on his wrist. There was none. He was dead. I am stranded on shore and my boyfriend died. How could this get any worse? All of a sudden I jumped at the sound of a big boom. I looked up at the sky. Lighting lit the whole sky up. Dark clouds were moving this way. Cold rain started pouring down hard. I looked at the pool of fire. Its flames fought strongly against the rain. Its waves were higher than I've ever seen. I need to get out of here quickly. I looked around me. It was hard to see through the hard pounding rain. My long brown hair was drenched. My dress was soaked and ruined because of the rain. I would have to climb all the way back up the cliff. It was the only way. I started climbing up. I was almost to the top, but then I slipped on the wet, slippery rock. I found myself falling once again. I hit the hard ground. The bones in my back hurt a lot, but after 5 minutes the pain went away, and I was fine again. This is super weird. How am I surviving what would usually kill a normal human being? I climbed up once again. This time a lot more carefully. I finally reached the top. The rain lightened up a little bit. I heard my name echoing all around me over and over again. Nova? Echoed through the mountain. What? I said in a shaky voice. A woman appeared in front of me. Her hair was white as snow. Her eyes are purple as the color of the sunset. She had on a long white ball gown. Her beauty stunned me. Nova, it is time? She said. I looked back at Jake's body one last time with guilt eating me up even though I knew it was not my fault. He did his part. He did what he had to do. She said. Why? What was his part? This is your fault. Isn't it? I said in anger. I had never been so angry in my life than I was right now. My skin felt warm but not an uncomfortable warmth. It felt good and filled me with energy. My body was glowing with fire. What was happening? I was confused but I felt powerful and did not want to let go of this feeling. The woman stared at me coldly. Calm yourself now? She said in a stern voice. Who are you to give me orders? I asked. I am the one who gave you these powers. I can take them away just as easily as I gave them? She said. The fire around me disappeared. I took a few deep breaths and calmed myself down. Please explain everything that is happening. Starting with Jake? I said as calmly and nicely as I could. Jake pledged his loyalty to me 2 years ago. His mission was to find the right person to invoke the 2 kingdoms in Ambrosia to go to war. He chose you. Shortly afterwards he also fell in love with you. I told him to push you off the cliff and see how you handle being under pressure. The woman said. You are cruel. I had no idea I had powers. I thought I was going to die. I told her. You have to be ready when the time comes. Maybe it was harsh, but everything comes with a price. Now, why Jake jumped in after you I have no idea. He knew the consequences of jumping into a lake of fire. He killed himself. He was reluctant to do what I had said, but he is binded to me. If he disobeys, then he would obtain the curse of everyone he touched would die. Now, you will take the oath and bind to me? The woman said. Invoke war? What makes you think I would ever do that? I definitely will not take any oath to you. I want nothing to do with you? I told her in anger. My body glowed with fire once again. I am completely dry now. My flames burst all over the woman. I didn't mean to do that. I did not care if I killed her. She was a horrid woman. My flames enwreathed the whole mountain. Soon the only thing I saw was my flames. The woman screamed in terror as the fire engulfed her. My body became tired and all my fire exhausted. The woman was nowhere to be found. She disappeared. I am free. You did it? A voice startled me. Behind me was Jake. I looked at him in shock. But, you're dead? I stammered. Not anymore thanks to you. You abolished the evil woman deep at the bottom of the lake? He said. I ran to him in tears and collapsed in his arms, hugging him tightly. He kissed me passionately. Then we broke apart. I don't completely understand what happened. Is it over? Is there anything else I should know? I asked him. No, you saved us. We are safe now. He reassured me. This was one of the scariest and weirdest moments of my life. I would always remember it. A few years passed by. I did not have any powers anymore. We lived the rest of our lives normally and in peace.